In this lesson, we're going to take a look at how to find a mating constraint from one part to another part, and we'll also be taking a look at how to control the visibility of selected components. The file that I have open is called arborpress.iam, and it can be found in your Chapter 6 exercise folder. In the browser, if I go back and expand on one of these parts, you'll see that I have all of the assembly constraints that are listed here. If I hold my cursor and just move it right over the specific constraint, you'll see that I'll get a tooltip. And inside that tooltip, it's going to be telling me specifically which are the two parts that this constraint is applied to, and in this case also what the solution is and if there's an offset or not. If I right click on that icon, you'll also see that I have some other options that are coming back down in here. So in this case, I can click on Other Half, and you'll see what it will do is it will actually expand the browser, take you to that opposite part, and it'll also highlight the selected component, in this case the mate 1. So let's scroll back up and let's take a look at the other option. If I right click again, I have another option here that says Find in Window. So if I click on Find in Window, and I'll just randomly select some of these, you'll see what's going to happen here. Inventor's are going to zoom up on that specific constraint so you can get a little bit closer look on that as well. Now, as you're working here, I'm just going to zoom back out. I may want to go back and only work on selected components. So in this case, what I'm going to do in the graphics window is I'm just going to select a couple different components. And in the browser, you'll see that they're also selected, so I could also select them in the browser. Now if I right click in a blank area, I have an option here called Isolate. And what Isolate is going to do, it's going to turn off the visibility of all of the other components. So now in this case, it's a lot easier for me to start working with these specific parts. If I right click, I'll have the option to undo the Isolate. In this case, bringing the visibility of all those components back on. For us to select the specific components, so in this case it was a very manual way to do that. There are some automatic ways. If I take my cursor, in this case I'm going to just take it right over that RAM, and if I right click, I have an option in the menu called Selection. And you see from this Selection menu, we have some differences that we can go back and select. So in this case, I want to see all the occurrences, constraint 2, component size. As you can see in the list, there's a whole bunch of different ones for us to be taken a look at. In this case, I'm just going to select on the constrained 2. And you see in the browser again, it's highlighting, in this case, only the components that are constrained to that. So again, I'm going to right mouse click and select on Isolate. And now in this case, these are the only components that are assembled to that specific part, in this case the RAM. So again, I'm going to right mouse click and click on Undo Isolate to bring everything back. These selection methods can also be selected from the Select drop-down list, as you'll see that we have the exact same options back down here as well. The opposite, if I wanted to turn off the visibility of a selected component, again I can just move my cursor over that selected part in the graphics window or in the browser, right click, and you'll see that I have the visibility option. Either it's on or it's off. And if I come back into the graphics window or to the browser, you'll see that the icon is appearing differently, kind of a silhouetted shape if you will. I'm going to go back and click on Visibility to turn that back on. Now the visibility option was only controlling is going to be seen on the screen, yes or no. There's another option. Again, if I just come back over to that part, right mouse click, I have an option here called Enabled. And right now it's on by default. If I click on that to uncheck it, kind of hard to see, but you'll see that I have a silhouette shape. And that silhouette shape is the complete part, except what I cannot do is I cannot select it. So if I want it to go back, I can kind of see where it is, but I cannot select it. Now to bring that component back, I'm going to right click on that file name, part name, in the browser. Right click. In this case, we'll re-enable it. Now, another option, if I wanted to actually remove that part from memory, right now you'll see that I have 21 total occurrences and 15 open documents. If I move my cursor back over that part again, right click, we have an option here called Suppress. And you'll see what Suppress does is it removes it from the screen, turning off its visibility, but it also removed it from memory. So that can be a very good thing. So just remember, the difference between the visibility is that it's just not going to be seen on the screen, where Suppress, it's not seen on the screen, but it's also taking it out of memory. So in this case, to bring that part back, again, I'm just going to go into the browser, right click, and then in this case, we're going to uncheck Suppress to bring it back. As you see, the numbers back here have gone up because it's now back into memory.